Hi, this is Christian Thibaudeau and Natisha here to talk a bit more about deadlift. The last video was a bit controversial because I said that most people shouldn't deadlift from the floor. Because what happens is when you don't have proper mobility, you actually turn the deadlift into more of a squat. Let's look at what it looks like. So people with low mobility, especially in the hamstrings and glutes, they would have to squat down to grab the bar. So just grab the bar. Yes. So it will look more like this, which is actually fine if you're an Olympic weightlifter, because that's the way you have to lift when you're doing a clean or a snatch, but it's not a hip hinge. Let's just do it in slow motion. Just go up with the bar in slow motion. Can you lift that weight? Well, it actually sucks. The bar is way too far forward, so you let your ego speak way too out of term. Let's do it again. You're even grabbing the bar properly. There's space here. Come on, dude. All right, good. That's better, excellent. All right, so that would be more of an Olympic deadlift, which is more quad dominant, because the whole purpose of that is when you're doing an Olympic lift, let's do a like slow pull and stop when you just pass the knees. Start from the floor and just stop when you reach the knees. Stop, a bit more higher. That, here. So that would be the position after the first pull. So now she would be in a position to really explode because she still has her hips and quads. But that's not what we want from a deadlift, trying to maximize posterior chain. So let's set up again. And just use the exact same position and just stay there. So that would be a squatty deadlift, not a hingy deadlift. So I'm just gonna position her, which is the part I love. So just gonna step here and move back a bit more, a bit lower, yeah, that's it. So now the shoulders are a bit more forward instead of being straight above the bar. The hips are as high as you can while maintaining that flat back and good angle. And when she starts, instead of trying to pull in a straight line, you're trying to pull in a backward arc. Good, that's it. Again, set up. Hips back when you pull, hips back when you pull, when you pull. That's it, good, excellent. One more. Hips back. Bit more. I want almost the chin to be almost angled backward when you reach the knees. Yes, better, up. More of a posterior chain exercise. Now, if I want to emphasize the posterior chain even more, what I can do is if I want to emphasize the posterior chain even more, what we can do is small plates to elevate the front of the feet. That will help her push the hips even more backwards. So just here, excellent. And the higher the plates, the more you're gonna pre-stretch the hamstring, the more you can push the hips back when doing a movement. So do some exercise here and try to push against the plate backwards. Yes, much better, much better. By pre-stretching the hamstring, remember the muscle being stretched the most is the muscle being recruited the most. Hips higher, hips higher. Good. That's it. Good. Now she was doing that from the floor because she has good mobility. If you can't do it from the floor, you're going to be doing the movement from the top position, what we call Romanian deadlift, either with a barbell or dumbbells. So let's just start at the top and pretend that you have zero mobility. And you can only go as down as your knees.
I'll do that. Okay.
You're a good actress. All right, so push your hips back, back, stop. So that's perfectly fine. You don't need to have the full range of motion. The key is having the hips as far back as possible. You can even go further back. Yeah, that's it. Your chins are angled backward. Now you have full hamstring stretch. You can put the bar down. Good. Grip workout. Okay, so don't be afraid to use partial movements when it comes to the hip hinge, because what we want is to load the hamstrings. If you compensate by bending the knees or bending at the lumbar spine to compensate for lack of hamstring mobility, you're actually doing yourself a disservice using the bad muscle to the hinge. With a client, remember, the goal is not to do the end of the line exercise right away. It's to get them there. Maybe at first they can only do a partial Romanian deadlift with a dumbbell. But the goal is that after 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, they can eventually do the movement from the floor. And you do that by gradually increasing the demand of that B exercise to increase the efficacy of the movement pattern. This is the kind of information you're going to learn in the hypertrophy course, which details a step-by-step, 12 steps actually, for all the basic movement pattern, from the easiest to the end game, and how to take a client from the start to the finish, which is the real skill set of a coach. You have a coach, you have a trainer. The trainer runs people through a workout. A coach has a long-term plan to take the person from here to here, not only body composition-wise, but also performance-wise. So until next time, this is Christian and Natisha saying good deadlifting.